basically, our key group starts from when the parents and the children come into for their first visit. The key person that's going to be with the family does all the paperwork, and then also establishes who the buddy is going to be if they're not. As I'm part-time, I have a buddy system, so whoever's going to be the buddy will be the person that's working when I'm not there, so that they can be there for the child and the family. When they've been with us, we each have our own mascot. This is my mascot, Bananas the monkey, and they are introduced through the registration. Here's my photo. So when the child comes in for register in the morning, the photos were left out on the table, like so, and then the child will come in and find their photo, pick it up, and then just self-register. We have a formal register afterwards, but that's their self-registration.
And they would know that they're in the monkey group?
They would. That will be told through their visit, and the parents are shown that, and the children are led and shown as well. So
that's a bit of recognising their name and
it is.
Settling them in. Lovely.
That's it. They all just have their name, one name at the bottom. They don't have their surname. It's just their first name, so they can start learning the names as they get older. I always use any key group activity I always use Bananas the monkey. He comes out and I call my group together, and then we'll do whatever activity, say reading the story together, or if we're doing listening and attention skills, or any physical, anything that I've planned for my key group is done. And how we do the planning is over on the planning sheet.
So do you find that they respond well when they see that monkey?
They do. They know Bananas the monkey because they all have a cuddle.
Right.
He's very much part. It's like listening and attention. It's a good way of using it, because with listening and attention skills, if you're trying to get them to listen and they're being noisy, you can use him and say, Bananas doesn't like loud noises, so you cover his ears. So you're actually using him to help.
A bit like a persona doll then. Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah. And
so this is your
parents board.
Parents board.
And our planning is always on there, so parents can come and see. Each member of staff has their own key group, but we also have our own colours. So when we're planning for our key groups, we do put key group and then we put whatever activity it is. So say for example, I want to do a listening and attention activity, I would put key group, listening and attention activity, and highlight it blue. So when we set up, they know that on Thursday morning I want to do listening and attention with my key group. Because
you will have observed the child and several children and think that might be a good activity to help them along a bit.
Yeah, it depends on what I'm after. If I'm finding that they're not listening and I want to work on the listening skills, I'll do that. Or if I've noticed a couple of them aren't really good on balancing, but a couple are, it's nice to do it in the group because children do.
And so is that weekly you're doing that?
Weekly, right. We do our planning meeting normally on a Thursday afternoon, and then that's for the next week.
Right. So that's, you've got it, oh, you're really on Zoom here. That's it. So that's your planning. So you've got your activity on the board, then what happens?
And then on the day, I will bring out Bananas. I either bring him out like this. His house is being made at the moment. He's going to have a tree house, and that will come out. But I'll bring him, and if we just go back to, I'm reading a story, I would come out into the room and say, right, monkeys, come to me. If they're not too sure, then I'll call their names, and then we bring them over.
So you will usually find a sort of a space.
It will be. If I'm doing, it depends what I want to do. If I'm doing reading and attention, it'll be here. If I was doing, for example, if I want to do role play, if I want to work on cooperative play, then I would take them into this. Obviously, something like this is a bit harder to contain in the key group due to the fact that other children want to come in.
Yeah, but that's fine, isn't it?
That's fine, but basically I would just take them in. But Bananas is always with me. If it's a key group activity, he stays.
So your key children usually respond well to that?
Because at the end of it, they all get to give him a nice cuddle and a kiss if they want to, and then he goes back into the back room. So then they know that the key group has finished.
And presumably other key people, key workers, practitioners, will be doing similar with their groups?
Yeah. We tend to take it in turns, rather for ratios, because there's only 5 members of our team. So if one's going out and doing the focus activities, the others are all obviously within ratio, keeping it, and then we take it in turns. So we plan. So we do say to each member of staff, right, I'm doing my key group now. So everyone knows then that I'm going to be focusing on that, and then I'll be out doing that. And then we will
and that works well, does it?
Yes, we work very well as a team. We communicate, which is the main thing with any team. If you let other people, it's like with observations as well. If I need to do an observation and there's one going on, I'll say, I'm observing at the moment, so that the other team members will know to let me do my observation.
And they'll be with the children more. Yeah, got it. That's good. Okay. Lovely. So, the age range, because I know you're working with older children, how do you find it works with your new ones starting?
With the new ones, I tend to go basic. It's reading stories, getting them used to bananas, getting them together, having a cuddle, talking about their toys at home. Basically, it's repetitive. You have to do it regularly for them to get to know bananas.
And consolidate it,
And then they get used to their group as well.
So, and would it be less time for the 2-year-olds?
Yes, it is. You have to take into account how long they can sit. Because some children can sit through, like, the Gruffalo book, but other children can't.
That is a long story, isn't it?
Exactly. And others can only go through, like, a small picture book. So it just depends on what they are. So you build up gradually with your 2-year-olds. But just repetitive. Just keep doing it so that the children know they're in your key group, they're in Tara's Monkeys, and it works. It works really well.
I know you said it earlier, but just to confirm, so you're perfectly happy if a child doesn't want, one of your key children is not interested, annoyingly, in the focus activity?
No, that's fine. A lot of them will come, and if they get bored, they'll just stand up and go.
Yeah,
I won't call them right back, because at the end of the day, they've got to be engaged in it for it to work. If they're not engaged in it, then I'll just sit back and think, right, well, what can I do now for that child to get them engaged into the next key group?
And sometimes you might get children from other key groups that are interested.
Yes. What I'll do then at the end of that is I'll say, can I just finish this? And then they come back and say, come on then. And then they can sit and have a cuddle. But normally they want to cuddle bananas.
So it's the toy. I think that's such a good idea. The toy brings them in, doesn't it?
And then you can just
fairly relaxed, I'm seeing. I'm gathering from here. So
the thing is, if you're too on it and it's making it too rigid, then the children won't enjoy it.
No.
So you start off really softly, and then
you'd be stressed as well, wouldn't you? So relax and just see what happens.
Just enjoy it.
Okay. So any tips that you would recommend to somebody starting this up from they've never done it before?
Well, if you've already got children established, work out your key groups. Work out who is going to be their key person first. Keep the group small if you can to start with. Have about 4 is a good group, because children, and try and have it so that they're mixed. Some are maybe a bit more confident and shy. Put them together. Because the shy children will then watch the more confident ones. But introduce a toy. I'm your special person. I'm your key person. Do their changing on in the bathroom. Have a buddy who will step in and be able to be there with you and take over if you're not there. But basically, at the end of the day, it is repetitive and get used to it. But do start small. But it's like the photographs. Start off with registration. You don't have to do any
use those photographs at other times?
Yeah, the photos. When they finish having their snacks, they put the photo from their group down to the bottom. When they come in, because we do afternoon sessions for our older children, they're not on that table. They're where their lunch boxes are going to sit, and we tend to try and do lunches in key groups as well sometimes. So I'll come in for lunch, and on my table I'll have my children in my key group. I won't have bananas at that, because obviously I don't want him to get dirty, and we don't have toys at lunchtime. So, but they know my lunch box. They know what pictures on my lunch box, and they know they're sitting with me.
So fairly simple, the photograph, you can use that just to get them into a group then, and
it's all simple. Just simple, relax, and just repeat it. Even if it's just once a week to start with, and then you can build it up regularly. But start with the registration, so they can actually see that yes, they belong to this group.
And parents presumably
Yeah, parents as well,
build
yes.
up a relationship better this way because they know about the group.
Yeah, and plus
Lovely.
they know that you're their special person. You're the person that's going to be keeping an eye on their child, so they can come in and talk to you. And then also, if you're not there, they know the next person is the buddy, so they can go to that person. So not just standing there thinking, I really need to tell somebody something.
Yeah.
Do I tell everybody? And then they get themselves flustered, but they know to come straight to me, say,
So it really
he's got an upset tummy today, you know, he's fine, but he's, you know, a bit windy or whatever. And then I can know that, and then I can let the rest of the staff know.
Yeah, lovely. Thanks for that then, Tara. I think that's brilliant.
Yep.